Hmm. Good evening, believers. Hi, how are you doing? This is Love Coach Dasha coming to you today for the Healing Hour Live. Now, if you've never been with me before, welcome. I'm glad that you're here. I am here because I went through the pain, the trauma of infidelity. My husband cheated on me, and I didn't want to give him up. And I was able to keep him. I was able to work things out. I was able to get to a place where I didn't feel like I wanted to, push him out of a window every day. I got to a good place. I can trust again. And I want to tell you all about it. I want to tell you exactly how I did it, what you need to do, how you can get past this and get to a better place instead of just being traumatized by it and stuck in that place. All right. So I'm glad that you're here. Hello, hello. If you are here with me, make sure you do me a favor. Go to streamyard.com/Facebook. And what that does is allows you to your name to be seen. So I can see it on my screen in my StreamYard app, which is streaming out to Facebook and YouTube. And then I can see all the comments on YouTube and I can see all the comments on Facebook too. Oh, if you're here with me, hello, hi. Give me likes, give me love. Let me know that you're here. Let me know that you're here. You're ready to participate. You got some questions. You are ready. All right, let me know. Let me find myself over here. Open that up. All right. So, what I like to do is I like to let you all know exactly what you can do all on your own, not with your mate, but on your own to start this healing process to get to a better place. I know, some of the time it seems like, oh, well, I would do better to heal if I wasn't with him. But if this is somebody that you love, you were going to have to heal regardless. So if you want to keep them, you should be able to keep them. It shouldn't have to be a barrier to you being able to be with them just because they have cheated, just because you are trying to heal. All right. You can do things all by yourself that are going to get you to that place, that are going to get you healed, get you feeling better. All right. So I want to hear everything, every question you got, everything you want to hear about. And we're going to talk a little bit about what I've created. It's called the Dreams Formula. And that is to give you a blueprint about how to get through this. So we're going to talk a little bit about that too. And we're going to chit chat a little bit. All right. All right. I can see everything. Hopefully, you all can see and hear me well. I think everything is set up the way I need it to be. All right. Okay. So, first things first, this is the trauma that you're recovering from. And there are very basic things about trauma that you can do to start healing trauma. It's a beautiful thing. There are very, very basic things that you can do that will start to help you calm down and start to help your stomach stop flipping over, start to help your brain to calm down so that you're not thinking so hard all the time. There are plenty of things that you can start to do right this second that are going to help you. So I want you to start doing those things. I want you to feel like, okay, I've got it now. I've got some things under my belt that I can actually do that are going to make me feel better. All right. So, the first thing, if you've been with me anytime at all, you will know the first thing is always to do your deep breathing. Have you been doing your deep breathing? If you have not, you are doing yourself a disservice. I'm trying to tell you, you need to be doing that on the regular basis. 5 times a day is what I tell everybody. You need to be working on this, bringing that anxiety level down. When you are in a trauma, what is happening is you are feeling a fight or flight response. Your brain is telling you that something bad is happening and you need help right now. You need to help yourself. And so what you need to do is either you need to fight or you need to run. And that changes the way that your breathing happens. Your breathing is more shallow. It's more focused on panting than actually full inhale and exhale. So then that helps you to actually get more anxious. If you're not doing your deep breathing and calming that breathing down, getting it back to a more smooth inhale and exhale, you're letting yourself just get more and more amped up. So we need to start doing this deep breathing at least 5 times a day. It's going to bring that anxiety level from way up here and start to bring it down. We don't need it to be way up in the stratosphere. We got to have it at a level where we can actually do something about it. So we're going to do our deep breathing together. Please join me. What I do is 4-7-8 breathing. Now, you can do any kind of breathing you'd like on your own. If you're doing this 5 times a day, I do have a video on YouTube right now. It's to Start Here and Breathe on my Love Coach Dasha channel. If you need somebody to, go along with you to do it 5 times, but you can pick any other pattern. There is, 5-5-5, 7-7-7. There's all sorts of ways that you can do this deep breathing. It doesn't matter which one you do as long as you're doing it. Okay. So we do 4-7-8. We blow out, get rid of some of that carbon dioxide that is built up in our lungs. Then we inhale for a count of 4. Then we're going to hold that breath for a count of 7 just to be able to use that oxygen that we have just breathed in. Your body needs a couple of seconds to grab hold of it and send it where it needs to go. Then we're going to blow out like we're blowing out birthday candles for a count of 8. Blowing out, get rid of that excess carbon dioxide, all right? So if you are with me now, give me some likes. Let me know that you're ready to do your deep breathing with me. Hi, Angela. Glad you're here. Hi. All right. So we're getting ready to do our deep breathing. I'll walk you through it. All right. We've got the first thing is the blow out. Inhale through your nose. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last time. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Beautiful. How does that feel? Hello to you, Caitlin. I hope you're doing your deep breathing. I hope that feels good. How does it feel when you're doing your deep breathing? It should calm you down a little bit. It should get your brain together a little bit. It should stop that aching in your chest and your stomach a little bit. Every time you do it, it's going to get better and better and better. So you need to be doing it consistently, okay? It needs to be a part of your day from now on as you are healing. First thing in the morning when you wake up, do some deep breathing. When you're getting ready to go to sleep at night, do some deep breathing. And doing deep breathing at night actually helps prevent you from having nightmares. So that's super helpful too, all right? If you are still in that space where you're having dreams and nightmares and unwanted visions about what happened, it's going to make it easier for you to sleep if you do your deep breathing, okay? All right, any questions about that? Questions, comments, thoughts? Nipla, I'm glad you're here. Thank you. I try and do a great job for y'all. It feels good when you do your deep breathing. It really does. All right. The next thing, always, 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 I want you to do your journaling. Have you been doing your journaling? If you haven't been doing your journaling, you're doing yourself a disservice again. I'm trying to tell you this very basic thing is going to help you a ton. What you're going to do is you're going to sit down with your journal. 5 minutes. That's all I'm asking you for. I'm asking you for 5 minutes. First thing in the morning when you wake up, and then 5 minutes before you go to bed, just like your deep breathing. You are going to take that time. You're going to write down your thoughts. You are going to write down what in the morning, what do I want my day to look like? What things could trigger me? What will I do about said trigger? Do I have any plans? If I don't have a plan for it, can I come up with one? You are supposed to just write down your feelings, the things that are going on inside your brain. Now, you can write in your journal any other time during the day. I'm not saying don't do that, but especially first thing in the morning and before you go to bed, because that is the time when your brain is the most elastic. You can introduce ideas. You can say, as you're going to bed at night, when you're writing in your journal, okay, everything that is in this journal, everything that I have talked about this evening, I will know what to do about it in the morning. I may not know what to do about it right now, but I will feel good about a path forward in the morning. And then you set that up in your brain, and then your subconscious works on that all night, instead of, oh, you were so hurt and you shouldn't be with this person. All right. So always, doesn't matter what it is. I have a ton of journals. I have a whole little shelf over here of them. Doesn't matter what it is. This one just happens to be pretty, but it's just got plain old paper inside. You can pick one that has prompts in it. It doesn't matter what you choose, as long as you're spending about 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes in the evening with your thoughts, with your feelings, and putting them down in the journal. It will help you. Now, several things that you need to do. You need to do your date, you need to do your time, and you need to do your level of anxiety. Need these things for a couple of reasons. The date and time are going to tell you information that you need to know. Once you start using this journal, you're a scientist. Now you are collecting data. You know that, all right, sometimes I'm having a hard time when I write in this journal, and sometimes I'm having a good time. So you are going to find out, oh, hey, there's a pattern to those good times because you're writing down the date and the time. Or there's a pattern to the times where it sucks because you're writing down the day and time. Doing that will also help you to line that up with your cycle. As a matter of fact, if your menstrual cycle is a little bit intense and you look in your journal and you're like, hey, a week before my period comes, I am totally losing my mind. Didn't know that before. Now I do because I've written it down. All right. Regina, glad you made it. Hello, hello. Glad you're here. You've been doing your journaling, your deep breathing. I hope you have. But you're supposed to sit down with your journal, date, time, level of anxiety. Level of anxiety is 0 to 10. 0 is no anxiety whatsoever. Everything is wonderful. All is right with the world. Write that down, okay? If you're ever at a 0, write that shit down, right? You need to know that. You need to remember that day. You need to put a star on the top of that page so that you can go back and you can say, hey, I had a day where everything was fine. I did feel fine. I remember that day. What did I do to get me to that day? Look in your journal. Find out what you were doing that got you to that day. Do that again. Guess what? You're going to get a gold star day again. It is just a method of keeping up with everything. When you're in trauma, your brain doesn't work as well. Your memory is not functioning the way that it should. So if you're writing it down on a regular basis that you are having good days, then it's going to stick with you. You're going to be able to find it when you really need it. Then there is a 10. A 10 is a complete loss of control. Now, if you are at a 10, you are probably not sitting down with a pen in your hand, getting ready to write in your journal. It's probably a 9. 10 is, I want to rip my hair out, tear my clothes off, run screaming down the street naked. That's where we are at a 10. Okay. So if you're not at that loss of control phase, you're not quite at a 10. Isn't that a good thing to know? Write that down in your journal too. If you're at a 10, chances are you're screaming at somebody. Chances are you are screaming at the top of your lungs and trying to make sense of all of the feelings and put them into words. That's probably where you are if you're at a 10. All right. Cassandra, hey. You said, I've been having 2 periods a month. Oh, it's awful how stress can affect it. Oh, I know, girl. Isn't that awful? I've been telling people, I tried the Flow app. I guess it doesn't really matter which app you use, but that one seemed to be good. And if you can put that in there and start to give yourself a little bit of hint about, oh, hey, look, I should be probably feeling bad right about now. It'll start tracking that cycle for you, giving you a little bit of a hint, give you a little bit of help when you need it, instead of, you just kind of trying to float through these hormones and trying to deal with it on your own. So, hey, I'm all for using all the technology we got. All right. Glad you're here though, Cassandra. Thanks for coming. So love to talk to all of you. Now, I love to hear from everybody. So if you got questions, comments, let me know. Something I say sounds crazy and you want me to explain it, I am here for you. All right. Now, the next thing, the third thing that I want you to always be doing is working on gratitude. Have you been grateful today? Have you thought about your life and the wonderful things within it besides this trauma? Yes, yes, indeed. This was horrible. I'm not going to say that it's not, but you have other good things that are going on too, don't you? I know I did. Even in the midst of all the trauma, I still had good things going on. So what I want you to do is start to work on a practice of gratitude. Every day, wake up first thing in the morning and start listing things. What am I grateful for today? Am I grateful for this house with this roof over my head? Hell yeah, I'm grateful for that. Am I grateful for electricity? Yes, yes, indeed. That is a wonderful thing. And that leads to being grateful for internet. Hallelujah. We got internet. And my children and my husband and being able to help you all. Everything that is a good thing in your life, try to recognize it because this type of trauma affects your brain in the way that it makes your brain look for the bad. It makes you look for things that are wrong, look for things that could be painful. And so then you ignore the other good things that are going on in your life. You can't ignore them if you want to heal. If you want to heal, you've got to be acknowledging and paying attention to all of the good things that are happening for you so that you can retrain your brain, so that your brain is not automatically rerouted towards the negative. Now you are consciously pushing it towards the positive. All right. So that's why I do Thirsty Thursday in my Facebook group. If you're in love after cheating, I do Thirsty Thursday every Thursday. I want to hear good stuff. I want to hear the positive things that are going on in your life. I want you to tell me about the things that you're like, hey, this is a good thing. Yes, bad things may be happening around me, but you know what? This good thing is also happening too. So if you're here with me, definitely post beneath the video. Give me some good stuff. Tell me what you're grateful for today. Just to in this moment, just pick something and cling to that feeling of feeling a little bit better. If you are miserable and you go to, okay, well, I'm grateful for computers today. I'm grateful for this opportunity to be able to reach out into the world and be able to talk to other people. I'm grateful for that. It will bring you out of misery and a little bit closer to happy. That's all we're trying to do. We're not trying to jump directly to happy. We can't do that. What we need to do is we need to start taking steps towards happy. All right. So if you're doing that, thinking about the things that you're grateful for, you're taking those little baby steps away from misery and back into happiness. It's retraining your brain. So, anybody, I want to definitely hear all the good things that you have going on this week. Let me know. Elise said, I'm going away this weekend for a girls trip. Girls trip. First overnight trip with my girlfriend since I had my first baby last year. Really looking forward to this getaway. No kids, no husbands. That's what I'm trying to say. Girls trip. That's what I'm trying to say. Not the babies. We're not even taking the babies with us. It's the ladies. I'm all for that, Elise. I'm glad that you're getting to do that. Glad that you're getting out of the house, getting away from the kids for a while, getting away from the husband for a while. Just doing that, changing your environment is going to be helpful to you. Now, just remember, vacations, weddings, having babies, they're all major life stressors, okay? They're things that can make you stressed out. So just remember as you're going to release, to let go. You don't have too much to worry about. You are just hanging out with the girls, having some fun, and don't get too wrapped up in trying to make it be like the best vacation ever or anything. If you relax and kind of go with the flow, it's going to be much better for you. All right. Hope that you have fun. Angela said, I've had a rough 2 weeks. I guess because D-Day was 1 year on May 12th. I just felt really down. Now my husband's ex-employer called him today and wanted him to do some work there. Oh, does it? And that's the employer that y'all had problems with. Oh, screw him. Okay, the place where the cheating was going on for all those years. He needs jobs to get his business up and going, but I'm not happy about him working at that place. I feel you on that, Angela. You all had some issues. I think I recall you having some issues with the ex-employer. I mean, if he's got to do it to get ahead, okay. But I can understand how that might be a different thing. Oh, that was a different employer. Okay, okay. All right, I was going to say because I was like, I thought I remembered the employer was a jerk back then, but yeah, if he's got to do it to get his business off the ground, you got to kind of let him do it. And it's not just the fact that it was D-Day. You just went through your training. You were away for some weeks and it was a different environment and it was a different interaction between the two of you. And so all of that change might have helped with you feeling a little bit down too, just so you know. It doesn't necessarily have to all be about him and the cheating and the D-Day. It doesn't have to all be about that. You had something else that was going on that had your attention for a minute, and now you're kind of coming out of that, coming back into your regular routine again, but with your training. So it's a little bit different. Things are a little different now, and that kind of shakes people up a little bit. So don't think that it's only him. It could be just the fact that things are changing in your life. All right, let's see. Sherry, hello. Sherry says, I love my backyard. I have a little deer running around playing back there. I love watching it. Oh, that's so freaking cute. I know that's got to be so much fun. That's got to be so relaxing too, because it's just like you're just sitting there watching, and they're so adorable out here in the woods. And you must have a really nice backyard backing up into the woods and everything for the deer to be running around there playing. That is lovely. That's a good thing to be grateful for. That's a great one, Sherry. Let's see, Cassandra said, I hid ice cream in the freezer the other day for my kids and I forgot about it until now. So I'm grateful for that after the emotional week I've had. Girl, it's nothing like finding ice cream. There's nothing like finding your snack when you need it the most. Doggone it, that is a beautiful thing. I am grateful that you shared that with us. And I know that's a great thing to be grateful for, right? That one, you're like, dang, I hit it so good. I hit it from myself. I love it. Caitlin says, I posted a few days ago about my situation a few days ago. Yesterday, he and I ate dinner together. We stayed up late laughing and playing games together. Didn't sleep in the same bed, but we communicated again. Oh, that's good. Making steps, progress. Now, I'm all about sleeping in the same bed. I feel like if we're together, we living together, doggone it, we're going to go ahead and sleep together. But I understand if you're just not quite to that point yet, but don't hold back if the only thing holding you back is fear. The only thing holding you back is fear. Do it anyway. Go ahead and sleep together and be together and communicate and have that good time together. There is no reason not to. You want it to be better. Start making those moves towards better, just like you did last night. Excellent job. Good job. All right. Fabulous. All righty. So I see, that's why I love to have Thirsty Thursday. I love to hear good stuff. I didn't see anything in the post, but I love to have you with me and tell me good stuff because I want to celebrate with you. I want you to know that those good things are worthy of your excitement and your happiness and your joy. You should be trying to experience as much happiness as you possibly can, even as you're healing, because that will retrain your brain. This is a battle against our brains at this point. When we go through this trauma, it changes how we think. And so what we need to do is change ourselves back. And if it was something that, if you didn't have good control over that before, now is a good time to do it. Yay. All right, good. Last thing that I want to remind you of that you can do all on your own that you should be doing is not asking all those questions. Whew, girl, stop. Just stop. As a matter of fact, not even just the questions about the affair, not just that. I'm talking about a whole bunch of the questions that you're asking. A lot of the questions that you're asking are coming from a place of fear. They're coming from the fear speech in your brain. Your brain is like, oh, you need to find out this bit of information so we can use it against them later. Let it go. All right. Stop with all the questions. If you can, I'm going to challenge you. I've challenged this before. I want you to go this whole week until we meet up again and not ask questions. Can you do it? Can you possibly do it? Not ask questions about what happened and not ask questions about anything else. Not ask questions like, how are you doing? Change it around to, I hope you had a great day. Hope you're doing well today. Instead of asking the question, another way to retrain your brain. It is normal for us, especially women, to ask questions. We like to do it. We want to collect that information. But if you change that, if you don't allow yourself to just go ahead and ask all of the questions that you want to ask, it actually changes the way your brain functions. Your brain will be struggling for a way to say what you want to say without making it a question. And then every time we do that, every time we stop our brain from automatically doing something, we are helping with the healing process, because that's what the problem is. The pain is automatic. The memories, the going through it is all automatic. So every time we question that, every time we stop that from happening, what we do is we reinforce to ourselves that, no, this is not the way I want my brain to work. I would like it to work a different way. I don't want it to be just trapped on that. So instead of, I will give you a better set of questions to ask, but I want you to try this week not asking any questions at all. All right. You let me know. Do you think you're capable of doing such a thing? All right. Amy, but don't you think we need that for closure? Amy, has it given you closure yet? Has that worked? If it worked, I would say go ahead and do it, but it doesn't. The whole questioning thing, it is just a part of the cycle of trauma. It is how your brain says, okay, let me collect as much information as I possibly can about this thing that I'm afraid of. And so then if I get all the information, then I can prevent that thing from happening again. It doesn't give you any closure. And that's a lie that your brain is telling you, oh, you could stop this from happening again. You couldn't. With all the information in the world, you couldn't. So if it would have given you closure, I'd say go ahead and do it, but it doesn't. Has it done that for you yet, Amy? Let me know. Because that's where I always let people know. I'm like, we keep on believing all of the things that our brain are telling us on the trauma. All right. Your brain wants you to keep asking these questions, but not to give you closure. It's never going to give you closure. You can't receive closure from anybody else. You can't receive closure from an answer to a question. You have to have closure within you. You have to heal and get closure. It doesn't come from anywhere else. So if it did come from that, I would say do it, but it doesn't. It doesn't come from there. Does that make sense? You all let me know. All right. So instead of those questions, instead of questions about the affair, questions that are just designed to hurt your own feelings, questions you really don't want the answer to because now it's stuck in your brain and you can't get rid of it. Okay. Instead of doing that, instead of making up, at least, yeah, the more info, the more triggers. So instead of doing that, giving yourself more information, more triggers to deal with, let's ask the different questions. If you can this week, no questions. But if you can't, check this out. This is the and. This is the healing addiction, and this is by the Skin Deep. The Skin Deep is what it's by, but it's on Amazon. They have a whole bunch of them like this for different situations, long-term relationships, parents and children. These are really good questions to ask that are not about things that are painful. There are a few in here that may make you feel a little squidgy, make you feel like, oh, that's a question that, that might cause a little bit of disturbance. But they're way better questions than, look what you did wrong, tell me all about it. It's way better than that. All right. Angela said, I asked so many questions. I wanted every little detail, but once I knew everything, my brain just keeps running it through like it's playing on rerun all the time. I wish I hadn't asked all the questions. Girl, I tell people, if I can catch people like right after it happens, that is my very first thing. I'm like, hey, you're going to want to ask a whole bunch of questions. No matter what question it is you want to ask, it is not going to give you what you need. Do not ask it. And if I can catch somebody, like when this first happens, when it's like that first week after the D-Day, and they just found out and they don't ask all the questions, they do so much better healing. It's so much faster because the questions are a distraction to keep you from healing. All right. And he said, just recently decided to give him a second chance, but wanted to ask him when and how did he communicate with the other person, things like that. That's true. I repeat those painful details in my head. You would. That's why you want to know. Your brain is trying to get as much painful stuff as it possibly can so that when you start getting close to him again, it just lobs one of those bombs right at your head. Be like, oh, remember you said you asked him where he was and this is the building and you can't go near that building now. It's going to mess with you. There's no need to get all of those details. You know as much as you need to know. He cheated on you. That is as much as you need to know. All of the details, all of the levels that it could be, what difference does it make? People say, that, oh, it's better if it was just an emotional thing. Some people say it's better if it was a physical thing. All of it kind of messes you up. All of those answers mess you up. So there's no need to do it. Try very hard not to do it. Okay. When you catch yourself, you're like, you know what? I'm not going to ask you that. All right. It's so much easier. Hey, Sienna, you missed it's been a while, girl. I hope everything's going well. We're doing a couple questions. All right. Couple questions. Why are you in this relationship? See, I said there could be some that are a little touchy. All right. Why are you in this relationship? Now, that may be a touchy one. You may feel like it's different, but really trying to listen to each other, really trying to hear what he's saying about being in a relationship. Don't just assume that you know. All right. Next one is, what concerns you most when it comes to our relationship? That's an interesting one. What's a good thing? What's a concern that you have? What is something that bothers you? Let's see if we can do something about that concern. And one more. What's one experience you think I need to have and why? Ooh, that's an interesting one. He might say skydiving. We never know. But what's one experience you think that I need to have? That's an interesting one. Isn't that a better question than what position did you have sex with her in? Isn't that a much better question? Wouldn't you rather know one experience that he thinks that you need to have instead of how he had sex with this other woman? I think that's a better question. I just do. I feel like that's much better for your brain, much better for your healing and your trauma. Okay. All right. Sienna said, yes, things have been much better. Good. I'm glad. I want to thank you. You don't know how much you helped change my life. When I didn't think there was hope, I found you. Oh, you're going to make me cry. Damn it. I'm emotional today. It's a little PMS. I'm crying over everything. You're going to make me cry. All right. Thank you so much, Sienna. I'm glad things are going better. It's very simple things. The things that I'm telling you will work. I don't tell you anything that doesn't work. It just feels weird because it's the opposite of what the fear and the pain want you to do. And the fear and the pain are so strong that whatever they're saying seems like the right thing, but it's not. All right. Good. So that's the basics out of the way. So what else are we going to talk about today? We're at the A of the dreams formula. If you haven't seen me talk about that, I talked about it the last three weeks. I talked about the D, which is the decision. You got to make the decision that this person is worth it to you. Hey, it's not about them. It's not about what they're doing. It's about you and how you feel about them. If they're your person and you want to keep this relationship, you have to decide within yourself, without any other influence, if you want to continue on with this relationship, if you want to heal with this person or without them. All right. It's all your decision. In a situation where you didn't have a choice in what happened, you have choices now. All right. That's why the decision is so important. The second thing was the R. The R is all about recognizing and then overcoming that fear speech. The fear speech is the stuff that's going in your brain, all of those thoughts that you are having, and all of those thoughts that are coming from other people that match up with those thoughts that you're having in your head. You know what I'm talking about. Oh, I'm going to be a doormat, and he couldn't have really loved me if this is the case. All of those things are just fear speech. That's all. It's just the fear in your head talking. And then when you hear it from other people, it's the fear in their head talking to the fear in your head. That's all it is. It will always tell you, don't give of yourself. Don't open yourself up. Don't love. Don't do anything that will get you closer to this person. Back away. Hide. Be small. And we don't want to live like that, okay? We are queens. We're not living small for no damn body. I don't care if they hurt us. That doesn't mean we have to live small, all right? So we've got to do exactly the opposite of everything that fear tells us to do. Then we've got the E, which is evaluating the why. That's a little bit more in depth. Suzanne, you're so welcome. I got you, girl. I do not gatekeep. I want you to know this information. You need to know this stuff. Even if you do not work with me, I am telling you everything I know in these videos. So if you got questions, now it's time to ask, okay? But the E is evaluating the why. Why did this happen? That's the refrain that gets stuck in our heads the most, right? Why? Why did he do this to me? Why did he think this was a good idea? And the simple fact is, hurt people hurt people. If you are in a place where your brain is aching, where you're hurting over something, you're not going to be at your best. And when you're not at your best, you are going to make messed up mistakes that hurt the people around you, okay? You know that because right now that's how you're feeling. You are all in turmoil, and then you make moves that end up making you feel further apart from your mate. That's how it works because hurt people hurt people. All right. There's three things. There's what you call it? Sad, sick, sad, and stupid. All right. Sick is any kind of illness, physical or mental, addiction, all of that. Then we got sad, which is grief of some kind of loss. And then stupid is not what you think. It's about all the stupid things that men get told about being men and being in relationships, and all the stupid things that we get told about being women and being in relationships. Okay. So it's a whole bunch of different things that could cause enough pain to make your mate make this bad of a decision. But you must know that when they make this bad of a decision, it's because they are not in their right mind. They're having a hard time in some way, shape, or form. Chances are you know better than they know what's really going on. All right. And let's see, that brings us around to A. That is what we're talking about today, is allowing the healing to happen. You got to do that. You got to let your walls down. You got to actually let yourself heal. All right. You got to do all the things. You got to put your ring back on. You got to start sleeping together again. You got to start your regular routine up again. The things that you do for each other, you got to start doing those again. You've got to start having sex again. All of the things that are part of what you feel is a healthy, happy relationship between the two of you, you got to start doing those things again. That's what allowing the healing is. And allowing the healing is things like stop asking all those damn questions. Stop going back and picking at the pain. I was a nurse for 20 years, and I'm telling you right now, it's a saying among nurses, the fastest way to heal a wound is keep your hands out of it, all right? You cannot keep touching the wound over and over again and expect it to heal right, okay? You're going to get your dirty little fingers in there and get it infected. It's the same way with this. If you keep going back and digging in that wound, it is going to be infected. You're going to have an abscess. Things are going to go terribly wrong in your relationship because you kept putting your finger back into that wound. We got to let that wound heal. And even when you think it's about healed, don't keep poking at it then, because it's probably fresh skin over it. It's just barely healed, and you poke it, you're going to go right through it. So we've got to allow ourselves to do that. You've got to stop yourself when you are in that. It's right there on the tip of your tongue. You want to say the thing, and it's so clever, and you know that it would make you feel so good in that petty way. Don't do that. Don't do it. Don't do it. I promise you, it is the wrong way. You will not heal that way. You'll just start an argument, and then you're going to be looking at him like, well, why are you starting an argument with me? You started the arguments, okay? Hey, Destiny Nicole, how you doing? Glad you're here. Guys, folks on Instagram too. Anybody here on YouTube? Let me know. All right. Let me go back and look. I was talking a lot. Anybody got any questions about the dreams formula thus far? All right, let me know. At least that I don't want to live small. Wow, that's powerful. That alone is something you to remind yourself every day. Live life. Exactly. Fear wants you to be smaller. Fear wants you to shrink down and hide in a hole somewhere and not shine your light everywhere for everybody to see. And we just cannot do that. We are queens. We are needed out here in these streets, okay? We need to be out here. We can't be hiding. We can't be small. And you got to think of yourself in that way. You got to really be thinking of yourself as the queen in control of this kingdom and down for doing whatever it takes for a happily ever after. All right. Sienna said, seriously, your tips are amazing. My situation seems like the impossible, but especially because I was the initiator in our cheating, I didn't see how I could fix it. And with the revenge cheating through the triggers, and all I seen a change in my mindset. I still have triggers, but how I deal with them has changed. Our relationship has stopped focusing on control and really have faith, trusting that what's going to be will be. I can't change her behavior, just mine. Women don't give up. Exactly. You don't control anybody but you. That you were the only person you were given dominion over. You were given complete control over yourself. You have control over your children for a very, very short amount of time. After that, they are their own people and they get to go do what they want. You are the only person that you have complete and total control over. And that is enough. That enough people to be in control of to change your whole life. Okay. If you are just in control of yourself, if you are just working on what the first real stage of healing after the D-Day, we've got the devastation phase. Okay. We are just boneless. We have just sank into a pile on the ground and we can't get it together. All right. That's what happens. You are first in that devastation phase. But when you start trying to pick yourself up, okay, when you are trying to gather up all your marbles and stand back on your own 2 feet, that's called regulation. You are regulating your emotions. You are saying, yes, a bad thing happened to me, but I am in control of how I feel. I don't have to be stuck here in this pain forever. That is not something that I have to require of myself. I'm going to refuse to do that. Let me gather up my marbles. Now that I've collapsed on the floor, let me gather my marbles up, put them back in my pocket, and keep on going with my life. You can make that decision all by yourself. You don't have to have anything from him. You don't have to have any closure from him. You don't have to have any answers from him. You don't have to even have him completely being faithful again. Some people are in that situation where they're still cheating. They're still out there with the same person. You don't even need him to have stopped yet for you to start being in control of your own emotions. It is a beautiful thing because it works. When you change everything around you. It is just a law of nature. If you are working to be different, the things around you cannot help but to be different. It does not matter if they're the most stubborn person in the world. When you change, when you take that control over yourself and your own behavior, and you take that out into the world, everything around you has to change. Okay? Does that make sense? You let me know. If I'm talking too lofty of concepts here, I know I get a little out there sometimes. That is kind of a more metaphysical type of thing. You are the only real constant in your universe. If you want something to change, you have to change yourself. All right. Y'all got any questions? Let me know. Let me know if you got questions, comments, thoughts, complaints, anything going on. I want to hear from you. All right. Amy said that makes sense. Good. I'm glad. I try and be as clear as I can. I've been answering these questions. I've been doing this for years now. I was working with couples before. I decided to just narrow down to this one focus. And it was always the same exact problem. It was always somewhere along the line in their relationship, he had cheated. And she was like, I never really got over it. I never knew how to get over it. So yeah, it's still festering. It's still this wound that I have within me, and I can't let it go, and I don't know how to let it go. And so it's ruining the rest of the relationship. So I started answering these questions. I know this stuff. All right. I know about this stuff. I have been studying it. I know what actually works. And the dreams formula, it really does work. All right. Let's see. All right, good questions. Destiny said it's been a year since D-Day. Today since D-Day. Still out here trying, girl. I tell you what Yoda said: do or do not. There is no try, and if you are doing, you're doing. Give yourself that credit. Don't say that you're trying. You're out here. You're doing it. Okay. You may not be successful at it. You may not be the greatest at it yet, but you're doing it. Give yourself that credit. Pat yourself on the back that much, because if you keep on believing that you're trying is on the fence. Trying is, oh, I may be able to make it or I may not. No, you need to get to, I am doing. I am successful at this. I am working towards this. There is no going back. I'm going to get this right because this is what I want. I want for my life, because I didn't have a choice in this happening to me, but I have a choice in what happens next. All right. Good. I'm glad you got love for you too. All right. Any questions? Questions? Give me something. Give me something to talk about, girls. I can tell you whatever you'd like to talk about today. I got you. My mom graduated from Princeton last weekend. I just want to say that. I like saying it. My mother graduated from Princeton last weekend. She got her master's in divinity. She is a reverend. So she graduated with her class in the beautiful chapel at Princeton. It was gorgeous. It was a beautiful ceremony. I'm super proud of my mama. So, I just wanted to share that. That's my Thirsty Thursday. I am grateful for a mother who loves education, who's been back to school a whole bunch of times, and who has like a few advanced degrees at this point, I believe. I think this might be 3 or 4. I think this might be 3 or 4. All right. But that's my mama. All right. Just had to say thank you. I will tell her you say congratulations. That is my mom's. We went up to Princeton. We went up to New Jersey from Virginia. And I drove and my knee was bothering me. But it was worth it. It was worth it going up there and hanging out with my sisters, getting to see everybody. Elise, you're so welcome. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I just curled it up. It's shiny tonight. Thank you, Elise. Appreciate it. I try to come looking cute for y'all whenever I can. Sherry, I will tell her, Adonis, thank you so much. I will let her know. It is so cool. I just like being able to say it. People are like, wow, she graduated from Princeton. Yeah, she did. Yeah. Oh, but that's what happens. See, queens come from queens. You know what I'm saying? Your daughters are going to see you as queens. As you are going through this, you are going to go through this and you're going to come out on the other side stronger, bigger, badder, sharper, fiercer than you've ever been before. And your daughters are going to look at you like, damn, look at mom. So, just like I'm looking at my mom, your kids are going to look at you the same way. They're going to be impressed with you. All right. Y'all got any questions? Y'all feeling pretty good today, huh? Let me know if you got questions. I'm here for a little while longer. Okay. Look over here. I will let her know everybody said congratulations. It was fun. Got to hang out with my sisters. My brand new niece. She's 2 months old. Oh, it's good stuff. Good stuff all the way around. All right. So, well, I don't see any other questions. We're about coming to the end of the hour, so we worked it out. Huh? All right. Usually, I go long. I can talk, and I definitely can talk about this. This has been one thing that I have studied. I've been paying attention to, and I know that these things work. Okay. Go back if you are having trouble. Go back and look at my videos. There's a whole bunch of them on YouTube of the Healing Hour Live. You can go back and get all your questions answered. I am not gatekeeping any information here. I want you to know how to fix this. You shouldn't have to keep on suffering. All right. Just because you want to be with the person you love does not seem like it should require you to suffer more. And that seems unfair. You've already had some suffering. I feel like, okay, we need to move on past that. That's what I feel. All right. Oh, Adonis, you doing well? I hadn't talked to you. It's been a couple weeks now, hasn't it? I meant to get back to you last week, but I went out of town. All right. Let me know how things are going. Destiny, you've been an amazing resource as I make my way through this. Well, thank you. You are appreciated too. Oh, that's so sweet. I told you you're gonna make me cry. Stop it. I appreciate it. I just wanted to let you all know I don't want you to be suffering anymore. I don't want you to have to feel like you have to wait on somebody else to heal. That is not queenly. Okay, it's not queenly. We're gonna go ahead and get what we need. We're gonna take what we need and give ourselves everything we need to move forward and have the happily ever after that we deserve. Okay. All right. So look, if you have given me your email address, in not tonight, but tomorrow, tomorrow evening, I'm going to send out an email because I'm going to have a little bit of an invite only. So invite only event. There you go. That's what it is. So keep an eye out if you have given me your email address, or if you want to be on the list and you want to hear about the events that I have coming up, let me know. Message me, send me your email, or just send me your email to info@lovecoachdasha.com. Send that to me. I will put you on my list, and you're going to get an email tomorrow about the next thing I'm doing. All right. Christine, hey, it's only been 5 weeks since D-Day, and I feel like he's done everything to help me heal. That's so good. I'm glad you're having that experience, Christine, because not everybody has that, because I had a difficult one. My husband wasn't trying to do anything to help me heal, okay? Not a thing. He was not there because he was not there yet. He was dealing with, he has PTSD and he has bipolar disorder, and he was dealing with that. Remember, I told you, evaluating the why is a good way to make you feel a little bit more compassionate about them. And that was what was happening with him. He wasn't at that point where he could help me. But it's cool if you're at that point and he's at a point where he's like, damn it, I messed up. I'm going to try my very best to help you fix this. That's lovely, but you don't need him. You don't need him to heal. And like the more of it you do on your own, the stronger you're going to feel about yourself. But it's good that he's helping. I'm glad that he's going to be at least not being a jerk about it, because mine was. Right. We've had so many great conversations. That's good. Well, look, don't talk about it. Be about it. Go forward with the relationship now. Don't get stuck. All right. Real quick, what is D-Day? D-Day is a devastation day for a lot of people. It's the day that you found out. Doomsday. It's different things for different people, but it's the day that you found out. The day that you found out that he cheated. That's what D-Day is. There's a whole bunch of different things that you can use, like wayward spouse is like WS, and like you can say all types of things, but honestly, I feel like you should call things what their names are. Like the other woman, oh, I'm calling her by her name because I'm the queen and I'm going to use your name. You are not important enough to me to give you a title to use instead of your name. You are just a peasant girl. You call peasant girls by their names. Wayward spouse, talking about your spouse, we don't want to keep referring to them as what they did wrong. We don't want to live in that. We want to be moving forward into healing. So this is my spouse. This is my honey. This is my love. This is my beloved. That is who they actually are. If you have them as something else in your phone, go change that. If you got them as this cheating asshole, go in there and be like, the love of my life, the person that I ache for, put something else different in that spot instead of oh, he cheated on me or he's so awful, because whenever that comes up on your phone, that's what you're going to think about him. So like in my phone, my husband is my beloved. So Elise said, when discovering the why, how can I differentiate reasons from excuses? I struggle with that a little bit. Okay, just from the very beginning, there is no excuse. Don't even let that enter into your brain. There are no excuses. He did what he did. Okay, there is no excuse. But there is something within him that made him believe that that terrible idea was a good idea. Like there's something broken. You know that wasn't a good idea, right? We all know that's not a good idea. Why would you cheat on your mate? That's stupid. There is something broken. There's something wrong that is making them say, oh, well, hey, I could go ahead and do this. So that thing is something that hurt them, because people will hurt people, but people will do almost anything to get out of pain. All right. That's where drug addictions come from. That first fleeting time that you take the drug and it feels so much better. And then the next time it doesn't feel quite as good, but you knew it felt really, really good the first time. So you're going to do it again just to make sure you can't feel like you did that very first time when it felt really good. It's the same type of thing that they're doing. So there is no excuse. Don't let that entertain in your brain. There is no excuse for him doing this. There is a reason. And there may be several reasons. There may be a whole bunch of stuff that was going on inside of him that made him susceptible to doing something so stupid. But that's everybody, right? We all got something inside of us, some trauma, some issue that will make us do something that is wrong. A lot of people in this situation, if you're in this situation and you're just beating him over the head with it every time you get to talk to him, every time you all are in a conversation, every time you're alone, you're beating him over the head with the fact that you just don't care about me. You are awful. You've hurt me. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Because you were hurt, you are feeling like you are justified in doing that. And I'm saying that every time that you feel like I am justified, you're doing the same thing that he did. The same thing that I feel pain, so I'm allowed to do something bad. And that's what it is. If you can just get on that same level, just to understand that whatever it was something that was painful enough to him that made him decide this was a good idea. And try to be a little compassionate about that, because you understand that. You understand completely what it's like to have something so bad happen to you that you're mean, that you're bitchy, that you're beating him in the head with it. You know what that's like. So it just is to give you compassion about his why. It's not to try and make it never happen again. It's not trying to manipulate the situation. It's just trying to understand what actually happened. Does that make sense? Let me know, Elise. Because there's no excuses. We're not going to make excuses. We're not going to say that this was right in any way, shape, or form. However, when we are in trauma, when we are hurting, we are not at our best, we may do things that are wrong. Hey, that's Mariah. I didn't see you over there on Instagram. Hello, girl. Sorry. You got any questions? Let me know. Josette. Hey, Josette. Josette said, my husband has overheard when I listen on Thursdays. Oh, it's nice when they overhear me, isn't it? He said he really appreciates how positive your message is. I already made my choice to stand by him. He's working hard to help me. So many researchers are very negative about our healing together and pushing for more information, etc. I've suffered enough and I don't want to be there anymore. Girl, I'm trying to tell you, that is the decision that you need to make. I've heard enough. I don't want to keep on hurting. He doesn't say move on, but he asks daily what he can do to help me heal. I'm glad he's heard you speak, even if it's only a little bit. He knows I'm trying to get out of the ugly part and we build our marriage better than it was before. I hate what he's done, but we have both learned so much about each other. Just sucks we had to learn the hard way. Girl, that's the whole thing. Everything you learn is the hard way. Or at least that is with me. I'm hard-headed, so maybe that's just me. But like a lot of the things that you learn that are the best things for you have to be learned the hard way. But I'm glad that he is helpful, and I'm glad that he's listening and he's hearing what I'm saying. I bet you agrees with a lot of what I'm saying. When that happens a lot, when because I usually only work with women, but every now and again I'll take couples, and when the men hear me, they're like, "Hey, I don't mind talking to her. She knows what she's talking about. She's not crazy." So then they want to come back and talk again. So, you know what I'm saying? I make them want to come back and talk, because it's all about, all I'm going to tell you, if you come to me and you want couple sessions with me, all I'm going to do is tell you what you can do, and I'm going to tell him what he can do. You don't worry about his part. That is not your business. That is not something you need to worry about. Your part is the part that you need to worry about. And that's the main problem that I have when I'm working with clients. That's the biggest problem I have, because most of the time it's the women that want me to say, well, tell him how bad he is. Honey, you've done that. You've done that already. I can only tell him what he can do from here to actually get to a better place with you. We can't go back and fix anything in the past, but we can damn sure change the story going forward. All right. At least that makes sense. Good, good, good. I'm glad. Yeah, the excuse thing. Yeah, don't give them excuses, but you can understand the reasons. And when you understand the reasons and you can give that compassion, um, it is easier for you to forgive. It eases something within you when you understand that this came from a place of pain with him. This was not, oh, I just want to screw you over. It wasn't that. It was something was wrong. Something was happening in him that he thought, hey, let me go and sneak around and cheat on my woman. That wasn't a good idea. We know that's not a good idea. Bad ideas come from pain. You'll do anything to get out of pain. That's why torture doesn't work. That's why somebody will say anything you want in the world if you're torturing them, because anybody would want to get out of pain. So, it's the same thing with him. All right. I think that's about it. Is that all the questions I got? Let me know. Yeah, be like Josette. Get your man to come in and listen to some of what I have to say on Thursdays. Like, play it out loud. And I promise you, he'll be like, hey, who's that you're listening to? All right, I like her. You should work with her. He'll be ready to pay for sessions then. So, hey, let him hear what I have to say. Because it's not, it, we're all people. We're all people, and we're all going to screw up. We're definitely going to screw up in relationships with the people that are closest to us. But you can heal from that. You can come back from that. If this is your family, all right, you're supposed to try and, go the extra mile for your family. You're supposed to give forgiveness to your family. So, if that's who you have that person who you feel is your family, you fix it. You heal it. You forgive them, and you move on. All right. All right. So you let me know. Got any more questions? But I'll go ahead, talk about my affirmations, because I'm always going to tell you about affirmations. I tell you at the beginning things that you can do. And at the end, I'm always going to tell you something else you can do. This is a key thing you need to be doing every single day, repeatedly throughout the day, so that you can keep your self-esteem intact, get away from that insecurity. All right. Oh wait, hold on. All right, hold on, Mariah. I see you. I'm gonna come back to the affirmations. Hold on a second. Mariah said, I've been asking for reassurance. He claims he is in his way, but I need in my way. But what? Are you gonna be reassured? That's always my question. My question is always going to be, what you're asking for, is it really going to work? If he's saying, I'm trying to reassure you, and you're like, no, it's not good enough reassurance, is it really going to work? Like, even if he said it exactly the way you wanted them to say it, does that really help? Because then you're like, well, I just put the words into your mouth. your pain, your insecurity, your fear will continue to tell you that it's ridiculous for you to even try to get reassurance from him. It will keep on telling you that whatever he says and whatever he does is not good enough because, damn it, why should it be good enough? You hurt me. So let me know. Let me know what you want your reassurance to be. What is it that you're wanting from him? What is it that you're wanting him to say? What is it that would actually work to reassure you? Because I'm going to tell you again, that's not going to come from outside of you. Reassurance and feeling good and feeling strong and feeling on point and feeling powerful and feeling sure is not going to come from him. He cannot give that to you. He cannot say, here, be reassured, and hand you a platter of reassurance and you just eat up and feel reassured. It doesn't really work that way. It has to come from in you. You have to believe the best of him, and you have to believe the best in yourself too. You have to believe that I can get past this. I do not need to be babied. I do not need to be reassured. If you need something from him, try and make it be physical more than talking. Does that make sense? All right. All right. The background is his dad is not doing good. We're basically waiting for him to pass, and we just found out we're pregnant again. So I know he's mentally on standby. Not to mention his job is not easy. Okay, yes. And you know everything that's going on right now. Okay, first of all, I'm sorry, but a dying parent trumps cheating. I I know that sucks. But the fact is, if you had done something wrong, but your mother was dying or your father was dying, you would expect him to put that shit aside because your mate is suffering the loss of a parent. All right. If it were you, if you switched it around, like what reassurances are you expecting from him in that situation? You are pregnant, and I know that is one thing that it makes you feel like I need more reassurance, I need more support. I get that. I totally understand that. But his dad is dying. His dad is this close to dying. He is right on the edge. He doesn't have like the brain capacity for the constant reassurance, the giving you what you're really needing, what you're thinking that you're needing. And you're expecting that it's going to make you feel better, even if he said or did all of the things that are in your head. But that's not the way it works. It's going to feel better when you are working on your own healing. Does that make sense? I know you're definitely here for him. I get it. It's just the fact that, you're like, I'm wanting some reassurance. But right now, it's a really hard time right now. And okay, you're going to be there for him, and he's there for you. He's there. He's with you. He's loving on you. But there is a whole bunch of stuff that is distracting him right now, especially like the death of his parents. So just try and be understanding about that. I understand that you feel like you need that. I do. I'm not saying that you're wrong about what you feel like you need. I'm just saying that in this, if I am triaging the situation, that's what I did as a nurse. You have to figure out, okay, what is the most emergent thing right now? And the most emergent thing, the thing that is the most life-threatening at this point, is his father is dying. So, you may need to like come off of that for a little while, let this go ahead, this part go ahead and pass, and you'll see. You won't have to keep asking him for reassurance. If you're just like, screw all that, I am here for you, babe. We will deal with the whole cheating thing later. We will deal with that later. I am here for you completely. Don't worry about it. I'm loving on you. I'm believing in you. We are fine. And let him know that and be there for him in this life or death situation. Then after that situation is over, he's not going to forget that. He's not going to forget that you had the right to be angry. You had the right to be continuously in his face about what he could do for you, but you chose to be compassionate, to be loving, to allow the healing to happen, and decided to put it down in favor of, hey, I know you are in an emergency situation. Let's handle that emergency first. Does that make sense? because it changes the whole dynamic. You are in a situation that is a change in marriage. It is the part where you lose your parents. It is a specific stage in marriage, and you're coming into that. And if you handle that with a whole bunch of grace and understand that, okay, we can deal with all the other stuff later. If you come into it like that, he is going to be super grateful to you, and he's going to try really, really, really hard to make sure that you're happy and you feel good going forward, because when he needed you, even though you had the right not to give it to him, you still did give it to him. You're okay? That makes sense to you? Okay. Yes, he says he just wants to grieve properly, but right now, anyway, it could be the day, any day. Yeah, exactly. And that's it. That's like a sword hanging over your neck, just waiting for any day that I'm going to lose my parent. That is a specific stage in marriage. That is a different stage that you are entering into. And the way that you handle it is going to determine how well your marriage goes for going forward. So I'm not saying that your feelings do not count. Please don't feel like that. But life and death, you got to go ahead and go with the death thing is the more important, the more emergent situation that you have to deal with at the moment. And then we can come back to it. We can come back to working on the marriage and doing all the things that we need to do. But at that point, he's going to be looking at you like, you had every right not to be loving towards me, not to help me with this, and you did anyway. Let me make sure that I show you I appreciate that. That makes sense? Hope that makes sense. Hope that makes sense. All right. Alexa. Hey there, Alexa. How you doing? So we've been doing individual and couple therapy, and yesterday he finally told me the why, and now I don't know if I want to keep going. It hurts so much. Well, what was the why, Alexa? What did he say? And can you find any compassion in your heart for his wife? Was he trying to say that it was you? I hate that. don't believe him if he says it was you. That was something going on within him. Now, if he's saying that he felt like he lost you, that goes along with the sad. That goes along with I felt like I had a loss and I felt like I was losing you anyway, so I felt like it was no point in just even trying. Sometimes it's like that, but don't let him just blame you and make you feel bad about it. All right, let me know what the why was, he said. Ria said time and place. Oh, yeah, life and death comes first. Yeah, it's a sucky situation. It really is. But, life and death, you can always come back to the things that are just life-based. If it's something with death, you may or may not, you may miss it if you're not paying attention. All right. Right. Said, how can I get rid of the feeling of getting my lick back or beating her ass to feel better feeling? Beating her isn't going to help. It's only going to come from the healing. It is. It's only going to come from you healing. You cheating on him, that makes you just as bad as he is. How does that make you feel any better? That means that you're just a cheater and you can't say shit because you're a cheater. So what are you saying to him? What can you say to him? What can you do about his cheating? If you do it, that is it. You are at the end of everything that you can do and say. You have already shown him that cheating is actually not that bad. If I have a good enough reason to do it, I can do it. So if that's the case, if you want him to know that he can go ahead and do it freely, go ahead and cheat back. But if you don't want him to think that, don't do that. Okay? And then beating her, that's not going to make you feel better. You can hate her. You can hate her if you want to. You can make voodoo dolls of her. You can wish her bad things. You can put her name in a jar and put it in the freezer. You can do all sorts of things if you want to. But actually putting your hands on her, you might go to jail. And you shouldn't have to suffer anymore for what this whore did. Okay? You shouldn't have to do that. You should not have to give any more suffering because of what she did. Does that make sense? You're the queen. You're the queen. You shouldn't have to dirty your hands beating some peasant girl. Okay? She ain't nobody. She wasn't anybody from the get-go. All right? You can be mad at her. You can hate on her. I'm all for a voodoo doll. Hey. It makes you feel better. Stab a pin in, feel free. But don't do it to yourself. All right, you hear me. Okay, good. All right, let's see. Caitlin. Hey, Caitlin. Said he cheated about a month and a half after we moved. I'm 10 hours away from anyone I know other than him and his dad. We moved to live with his dad back in December. I was depressed and was really in a great headspace. I was depressed and was really in a great headspace after moving. This is the first time away from my family. Well, that's make you a little bit anxious and depressed anyway. First time you're really being away from your family, your support system. That's hard. That is a major life stressor. And then to find out that he did this, damn. But even then, he was experiencing a major life stressor too. Even though he is moving to a place where it is closer to his dad, he is still making a move. He is still making a big move. And the two of you did that together, and he didn't handle it well. And right now, you are struggling a little bit because, damn, I don't have anybody here that is on my team. You know what I mean? But he's on your team. He's your honey. He's the person you love. So you just got to remember that you do have a team there. You thought it was a good move. At some point, you were like, this is a good move for us. This is a good thing for us to do. Don't let this ruin that. If it was a good idea to move, it was a good idea to move. Even if it ended up being that he cheated when you moved, that doesn't matter. If it was a good idea to get where you are, then it was just a good idea. So you go ahead and accept that. You say, okay, hey, look, it was a bad thing that happened, but this was a good move. This is a good situation for us, for our family. I think I made the right move, and I'm going to stick with my decision and let it play out. You know what I mean? It was going to play out the way it plays out. It's going to get better. Okay. Alexis said, he said it was because we didn't have intimacy, so he went to look for it. Were you? He said I was pregnant when he did it, and it wasn't an actual affair. I suppose it was a one night thing. No emotions involved. He confessed. I didn't know or suspect. But what was going on with the intimacy? That's a loss. That's a loss for men. Men feel like if we are not close, if we are not having sex, if we are not intimate, I have lost you. There is something wrong within us, and I do not have you anymore because you don't want to have sex with me. So you're not attracted to me. You don't want me. Something is going on. So that is in that second category of a loss of some kind, like some kind of grieving he was doing. If he felt like he did not have you anymore, then yeah, that does happen. That does happen. Now, that's not all together your fault. If you were pregnant and you were just like not up for it, I get that. I understand that. I had hyperemesis. I was not up for it. Okay, I get it. I know exactly what you're saying. But he might have been feeling that loss and then feeling like there was nothing else that he could do about it and ended up doing something stupid. All right. That makes sense? Kaylee said, I did talk to the other woman and her excuse was that she forgot I existed. See, side chick things, side chick things to say for 600. That is the craziest. You forgot. Ridiculousness. She never forgot about you. You're a damn queen. She never forgot about you. She knew what she was doing. All peasant girls try and take the queen's place. They try and put the queen's crown on, but it's too damn heavy and they can't live up to the role. That's all it was. She tried to say that she forgot you to try and act like you weren't the queen the whole time, but you were. All right. Don't be falling for that. Darcy said, how do I deal with the highs and lows mentally, if that makes sense? We got to start evening out. We got to start regulating our emotions. We got to start when we want to say the thing, when it's crawling up your throat. You can feel it. It's like a creature crawling up your throat. It's like, oh, I'm about to say something awful. I'm about to say something mean to him. And it crawls up your throat and out your mouth. We've got to recognize that feeling and swallow that monster back down. That's what we got to do. If you can start doing that, and then don't get too high either. We get a little manic too. You start flying real high. If things are going okay, you go way, way high, and then you crash because you went too high. You went too close to the sun. So it's all a matter of getting those emotions back to even instead of up, down, up, down, up, down. It will slow down. It's really, really jagged at first. And then it slows down. You got like smoother slopes, and then the slopes get shorter as you start to heal. We're just trying to get those emotions nice and level. That's what we're trying to do. Bring that back down. When you're about to say something mean, Don't say the thing. When you're about to bring it up, don't bring it up. Try and look for the good. Try and look towards having good times with one another, allowing the healing to happen, letting yourself be close, letting yourself hug and kiss. Get your body back into it. If you can get your hormones involved, your hormones were involved with this whole relationship. Your hormones were involved when you first fell in love. They made you feel that, oh, I love him so much and I would do anything for him. That made you feel like that. And then your hormones were what made you decide that he was trustworthy in the first place. He probably wasn't all that trustworthy, but your hormones said that he was, so you believed him. And now you don't have that hormone flow going to help you to get back close. So what you need to do is engage with your hormones. Hug him. Put your arms around him when you are about to say the thing, when you are getting all worked up, when it's bubbling up in your chest. Shut up. That's the first thing. Hush. Don't say anything because you're going to say the wrong thing. Just shut up and go to him. Open your arms. Be like, hey, hug therapy, dog. Hug therapy. And tell him to hold on to you and hold you tight. If you can do that for about 20, 30 seconds, 20 seconds is the limit of how fast it is to get the hormones involved. But if you can get 20 seconds of hugging, that oxytocin will start flowing. You know how you feel about your baby when you're holding your baby, that, oh, I love you so much. That same chemical gets produced when you're in the arms of the person you love for more than 20 seconds. So if you go ahead and do that, even when your brain is screaming, your brain will be yelling at you, don't touch him, get away, it's hot, it's dangerous. It will be screaming all that in your head. Ignore all of that crap. It's all lies. Go to him, have him wrap his arms around you and hold you tight. It will help you. It'll start that hormone to flowing, and that helps you because you feel more tender towards him with that oxytocin flowing, and then you're wanting to be closer to him again. Does that make sense? It's a balancing game. We are like highs and lows, we gotta just try and bring it back towards the middle. If we can do that, even it out, you're having a much simpler time. It's so much easier then. All right. Elise says, sometimes it's hard to love on them because we hate them so much. How can I get past these moments of feeling the hate and resentment? Every single time it's like that. It's like, no, I don't want to touch you. That is a signal. It is a signal in your brain that will tell you, hey, my brain is screaming not to touch you. My brain is screaming not to cuddle with you. My brain is screaming not to have sex with you. That is the fear talking. Not going to keep listening to the fear. I'm going to do what I want and not what the fear wants. And then you go ahead and do it. All right. It'll be hard. All right. I'm not going to say that it's easy. You'll be pissed. When I'm laying, my thing is, my touch his feet and in bed. If we're laying in the bed at night, we're at least our feet have got to be touching before we go to sleep. And when I'm mad, I want to take my foot away and I don't want to touch my foot, his foot. That's how I know that when I'm like that, when I'm like resisting, oh, it's the fear. Okay, let me not do what the fear tells me to do. Slide that foot on over and do the exact opposite of what the fear tells you to do. When you do that, it works out so much easier. You will be doing the right things. All right. Even in the moments when you hate them. Even then. Rhea said, I have 100% evidence that there was an EA, emotional affair, for those who don't know, but no evidence that it went physical, but I can't seem to accept that. Based off things she said, she has feelings for him. She wants to jump his bones, etc. Some have asked me what's worse, a PA or an EA, physical affair or emotional affair. And after thinking, I feel for me, it's a physical affair and I just can't let it go because they both said nothing physical happened, but they both lied. When I spoke to her after the tears, I realized so many holes in her story. And also she tried to plant a lot of seeds of doubt in my head. How do I move past this? Like I need to know, but I've hit a dead end. If you just want to believe that he had sex with her, just believe that. If that will make it better for you, if that will make it easier for you to go ahead and start moving forward, Just go ahead and believe it. Don't keep asking about it. Don't keep trying to get details about it. Don't try and keep comparing their stories. It's just driving you nuts. It's too much information in your head that is bad information. It's stuff that you don't want to know, that it's going to be painful to you. So instead of doing that, just believe it. If that's what you want to believe and you're already believing it, okay, he cheated on her, he had sex with her. All right, now go ahead and move on. It's okay to just go ahead and say, I'm not going to believe that it was just emotional. Although what you're saying, she has feelings for him. She wants to jump his bones. Saying that she wants to is saying that she hasn't. That's if she's like, I want to, she would be more like, I remember, or it was so good when I did jump your bones. That's not the same thing. So she's not saying in her messages that she actually had sex with him. So that's probably the truth. It's probably the truth that they didn't. But if you want to believe it, okay. All right. Go ahead and believe that. Believe the absolute worst and go ahead and let yourself heal from that. It's okay to do. If that's really what you want to believe, cool. If that will help you get past this interference, because that's all it is. It's just a roadblock. Your brain is throwing up an extra roadblock. Like, I see you want to heal with him. Here, let me give you this doubt. So if it is this, then that's so terrible. But if it is this, you're still here. You still want to be with him. So even if you think that it's a physical affair, which you do, you still want to be with him. So either way, it doesn't matter. You're doing the exact same healing anyway. Does that make sense? You got to do the healing anyway. Might as well go ahead and believe the worst if you really want to. If you really want to believe it. But what you're saying is probably she didn't do it. I don't want to believe that. I want to believe he didn't, but I don't know who to trust. Well, if you were seeing what she said and it did not say, hey, that was so great, or I want to do this or that again with you, if it wasn't that type of situation, chances are he didn't cheat. He didn't actually have sex with her. So it was an emotional affair. Yeah. He was doing a whole bunch of talking. Why is it bothering you so much? Why do you, because you're saying they don't want to believe it, but you do want to believe it because you're stuck on it. So what is it that's going on? Or is it just your brain messing with you, trying to make you believe the worst possible thing? So then if you believe that, then your brain will be like, see, he physically cheated on you, so you shouldn't want to be with him anymore. Because it could just be your brain doing that, so it will try and make up, that would be the most awful thing. And so if that happened, then you shouldn't want to be with him. But that's not true either. Mine cheated physically and emotionally. Guess what? We're still together. It's 15 years later. So you don't have to listen to that. Don't feel like that is a limitation. That's what it's trying to do. It's trying to give you a limitation. Okay. Yeah, it's your brain. Yeah. It's like your brain is screaming that. Tell your brain, look, the evidence that I have does not say that. You may want to believe that, but that's not what it's looking like. It's looking like it was emotional. It may have eventually turned into a physical affair, but what actually happened, the reality is that's not what happened. Both of them say that it didn't happen. From what I'm reading, from what I'm seeing, it didn't happen that way. So I'm going to go ahead and believe that it didn't happen. Sorry, brain, you're outnumbered on this one. Right? Does that make sense? Caitlin said, I was never angry at him. I was just so sad and felt broken. I did start journaling back in March after finding out. Well, good. Be doing your journaling. For sure. And yeah, sometimes it's like that. Sometimes you don't get the anger, but then you go through like all the stages of grief while you're dealing with a trauma regardless. So it doesn't matter like where you start. Sometimes you'll go back to the angry and then you'll come out of it again and you'll feel sad, but you are not broken. You are not broken. Nobody else in the world has the power to break you. We are queens. Nobody is breaking anything about us, okay? Just because something bad happened to you does not mean that you are broken. Just because it feels like your heart got broken doesn't mean that it is, all right? Just because there's that ache doesn't mean that there's something broken within you, okay? You have to decide that. You get to decide whether you're broken or not. Don't be claiming that just because he did something dumb. You're welcome, Rhea. Good. I'm glad that makes sense. All right. All right, that's about it. That's enough. I've been talking a whole bunch. But back to affirmations. Every day, give yourself an affirmation. Give yourself something positive to say about yourself. Give yourself that security. Give yourself that self-esteem boost because you need it after something this bad happening to you. Whatever you repeat to your brain is an affirmation, whether it be a bad thing or a good thing. All right. So you need to be very, very cautious and very, very thoughtful about the things that you say to yourself. Look yourself in the eye, wherever it may be, in your camera, in your bathroom mirror. Look yourself dead in the eye and say it like you mean it. Say it like it is the most true thing you've ever said in your entire life. Say it with conviction. Say it with authority. And your brain will have that recording in your brain all day of, hey, first thing this morning, she looked at herself in the mirror and she said that she was a bad bitch. She's a bad bitch. That's exactly the whole. She said it like she believed it. I believe her, and then your brain will go along with what you're saying. If you do not do that, your brain will just go on ahead and say whatever the hell it wants to say, and a lot of it will be based in fear and pain, and then you're stuck. All right, so let's not let our brains just wander and do as they wish because that's not good for them. We need to be in control of them. You are not your brain. You are the thinker of those thoughts and you have control over those thoughts. All right. So, giving you one to hang on to today. Today, I am receptive. Oh, I like that. Today, I will let go of the past. I will live in the present, and I am looking forward to a bright future. I love that one. Look at that. That's an excellent one. I got this deck of cards. This is a deck of cards I got this from Five Below. You can find these on Amazon, Etsy, wherever. If you need an affirmation, go ahead and grab yourself a set. Today I am receptive. Today I will let go of the past. I will live in the present and I am looking forward to a bright future. You will not get out of the past unless you decide to be right now, right here. If you don't do that, you will continue to live in the past, continue to be miserable, continue to be sad. And you don't deserve that. You deserve to get out of pain and end this suffering as soon as freaking possible. All right. So I want you to be working on that. Today, I am receptive. I am not living in the past anymore. All right. All right. I think that's about it. Any other questions, comments, thoughts, complaints? Anything else? I don't see any questions on the post. Remember, every Wednesday night I put up a post. It's usually in the pin section, the featured section, and it will be just, hey, if you want to talk about something in particular, you can put it on that. All right. I think that's about it. I think that's all I got for you today. Thank you so much for joining me for the Healing Hour Live. It was wonderful to have you. You know I love talking to each and every one of you. If you are interested in working with me, if you need a coach, you need somebody to help you to regulate those emotions, to calm it down, to stop hitting the highs and lows, to be able to even it out and get to a better place, start to help you to figure out exactly what path you need to take, let me know. Hit me up. Message me. I am here for you. I want to help you. I want to work with everybody. Okay. I'm sorry. That's one of my faves to say. Oh, that you're receptive. The affirmation. My God's mom. Hey, girl. Oh, I control my emotions. My emotions don't control me. Damn right. Because that's how we do as queens. We can't be all controlled by the emotion. It doesn't work. All right. Fantastic. Okay, let me see. I see people talking. Hold on, let me go back. All right, please check your. Oh, I will certainly. I will certainly check my messages. If you want to reach out to me, Love Coach Dasha on everything. You can message me on my Love Coach Dasha page. You can send me an email to info@lovecoachdasha.com. You can send me a DM on TikTok. You can send me one You can send a message on YouTube. You can send me a DM on Instagram. It does not matter. However you want to reach out to me, I am looking to work with you lovely ladies. I want to help you get you there faster. All right. I said I wanted to help like 1,000 women this year. It's already almost June. I have not hit my goals. I didn't get 500 in the 6 months, but I need to be working on that. So if you want to be one of the 1,000, come work with me and we will get you there. Okay. All right. I think that's it. I think that's all. Thank you so much for joining me. I just want to let you know, don't do what the fear tells you to do. Whatever it is, it's the wrong path. I love you and I'm so, so proud of you. Cannot believe that you have this much power, this much grace, this much compassion. I love women like you who are deciding what they want for their lives and going after it with everything they got. I love every bit of that and I want to help that. So if you want to talk to me, let me know, message me. I will definitely help you, okay? All right, y'all, that's it. Thank you so much. And we'll be back again next week, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Healing Hour Live. I'll talk to you again later.